Hey, Anthony Tilley here, and welcome to episode 14 of the Solopreneur Show.
Welcome to the Solopreneur Show with your host, Anthony Tilley. To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today. And here's your host, the man himself, Mr. Anthony Tilley.
Hey, Anthony here, and welcome to episode 14. As I said, really is great to have you here. Now, obviously, this is Monday's edition of Ask Anthony. And, if you're seeing this anywhere, if you've seen the video, you want to go and download the actual audio, go to thesolopreneurShow.com/Ask Anthony 3. That's the number 3, not the word. And you'll be able to get hold of the audio of this Ask Anthony. Now, as you'll notice, if you're watching the video, I'm back to just sort of sitting at the desk because around the corner there, I've got things set up for a whole load of training I'm doing on the whiteboard, etc., for the exciting new Solopreneur VIP Club, which I'll be able to announce a little bit more about later in the week. And on the 28th of January, we have a book launch, the first 5 transcriptions. Really, really excited about that. It's, as I said previously, listening to the audios and watching the videos is great. It really is. But when I was actually then going through and was tidying up the transcriptions just so they were readable, and I was blown away by the amount of value that there was in the book. It's like 250 odd pages, something like that. It's absolutely chock-a-block. It's just amazing stuff. So, we'll make sure that there's more information about that, obviously, on the site and on our Facebook page, etc., etc. And of course, if you're on our list, on our subscriber list, then obviously you'll get to know about that as well on Saturday. So, on with today's question. Now, today's question is from Judi, and Judi is saying that she has been a care worker for 30 years. And also as well has a huge amount of experience in relationships. And basically what she wants to do is to set up her own authority site and become the go-to guru for relationship information and help. Okay, but she doesn't know how to do it or how to get started. So I think this is a really, really good question, Judy. Really good question. Thank you so much for sending it in. I think there's a lot of people who have got a lot to give, but don't really know where to get started or how to get any traction, etc. I know you said you've been doing this for 30 years, so I guess, you're not sort of a teenager or sort of in your late 20s, something like that. So, you're probably perhaps a similar sort of age to myself. But you still have to look and think long term, with this show, for argument's sake, I know it's not going to make me a millionaire overnight, but the idea behind the show, and I think exactly the same for you with your idea, with your business, is to build yourself a following, get traction, put great stuff out there in the world, and basically those people who it resonates with, and it won't be with everybody, because obviously not everybody has relationship issues, etc. And it's the same here with this. Not everybody wants to be a solopreneur. So there's going to be those that it resonates with who do have the issue that you're looking to cure, and also who are a solopreneur. But then the style that which you present, what you put out there, and the same with myself with this. Not everybody's going to like the style that I have, and hey, that's fine. We all follow people that we resonate with, and I can see from my Facebook ads what I've been doing, that there is a real clear demographic of person who listens to this show and who watches the videos. And it just, when I see the stats, it just loud and clear shouts it out to me, which is great, because then when it comes to more advertising, etc., and more sort of putting shows together, then those are the kind of people that I can make sure that I'm really serving. And this will be the same for yourself as well. So initially, to start with, you just got to start putting stuff together. So the best way to do that, got to get yourself obviously a domain and a website. D9 Hosting I'm with, they're absolutely superb. and then obviously you go sort of put a WordPress blog on it. Easy enough to do that. If you go and just Google how to install WordPress, so simple it really is. You'll find plenty of videos on YouTube. And you don't need to go big, you don't need to go bold, you don't need to go flash, etc. I would suggest picking your own name. That would be a great place to start. Or if you do, if you already have a company in mind, you have a name and you have the domain of the company, well, then that's absolutely great. And start putting content on there. Start putting content on there that is going to help, that is going to inform, that's going to solve a problem, is going to solve somebody's issue. And, you want to put it nice and succinctly and really just give as much value as you possibly can. All right. It's really about building the know, like, and trust factor. Particularly if you're in the relationship niche, if you're looking to help people with their relationships, it's a very personal and a very private thing. So they need to really know that you're in their corner, that you are there to help, and that you understand their issues and their problems. I, speaking personally, think that this is an ideal niche for a lady. I'm not saying that men can't go into this niche, but I think genuinely women have a little bit more empathy in that way than guys do on the whole. I'll probably get shot down for that from people saying, hey, I'm as empathetic as they come, you idiot. But it's just something that women have that empathy. And my wife, she's a nurse. She's been a nurse for 30 odd years, and she runs the orthopedic assessment unit here in the city. And she comes home every night, and obviously, she doesn't tell me the exact stories because of patient confidentiality. But she come home and she say to me, that people are supposed to, their assessment's supposed to take like half an hour, and there are people in there like for an hour and a quarter. And she said, how can I tell them, their time's up? How can I tell them that they've got to leave? She said, I can't, because these people have got such problems. It's far more deep rooted than needing a knee replacement or a hip replacement. It's a whole lifestyle thing that has probably actually come about, has brought that issue or that problem about, and then they have other issues, etc. And I think being a nurse, being in that environment, they just completely trust what she says. They trust her to listen with without being with being impartial, and to really to understand what they're going through. And I think that's the same thing that you need, and that I'm sure that you have, having been a counsellor for that length of time. You clearly are able to talk to people, you're clearly able to listen to people, and to be able to provide great solutions to their problems. So I think having done that for this length of time, there's certainly going to be no problem from that point of view. And I'm sure you have a huge amount of knowledge, and it really is a question of starting to get that knowledge out there, of starting to help people and starting to get that know, like, and trust. So I would say, start blogging, start putting the information out there, help, etc. If you've got any books, any guides, any other sites, links to other sites is absolutely fine as well. You become a trusted person, a trusted source for great information and for help. The other thing that you can consider then doing is something like this, is doing a podcast. It's not difficult to do. There's fiddly bits and pieces to do, and I must admit, when I sort of started reading up on it and the technical side of things, of getting it onto iTunes and telling them, saying you need XML files and this, that, and the other, I'm like, what on earth is this all about? But once you sort of start reading it, I personally use Blueberry hosting. I'll put a link underneath this for you so you can have a look at that. I personally use Blueberry, and the great thing with Blueberry, and I know quite a few other guys who podcast, who I've been talking to, say they use them. The great thing about them is they have a plugin called PowerPress, which means you can do everything in the blog. So for me, that's absolutely brilliant. It's there and it's done, and the instructional video that they'll give you is absolutely superb. And you can start doing a podcast. It only needs to be 20-25 minutes a week. If you want to do more than just once a week, because obviously that will help your downloads, it'll help get more people to see and more people to know, like, and trust you, etc. And why not do something along these sort of lines? Why not on a Monday or a Tuesday, you deal with people's problems and issues, and you look to help them, you look to answer them via the podcast. And Also as well, then later on in the week, you interview somebody who is an expert within that particular niche. Now, how easy these people are to come across, I'm not sure. How many of them will want to come onto podcasts? I'm sure there's going to be a certain number, because a certain number are going to understand marketing, and a certain number are going to be creating digital products, etc., etc. But if there aren't loads of those kind of people around, it certainly could be something you do as a special, for argument's sake. You can then take those podcasts, take those transcriptions, and turn them into a book, which is exactly what we're doing here on the Solopreneur Show. We launch on the 28th of January with that book, and that's the transcriptions. Now, you can go and get those done quite easily. It's not a huge amount of money, about $1 a minute. So, it's great to get those done. And then you sit down and you make it better. You make it a better book. And that then also is going to help you with the authority piece. And this goes, no matter what business or niche you're in, if you're an author, if you've got books out there, people really are going to look at you at a different level. When I've been sort of telling my friends and acquaintances that I've got a book coming out, it's like, wow, okay, when is it? Where is it? And when can I get a copy, etc. So it really will help elevate you in terms of that authority piece, Judi. So, really it is a question of going out there and showing people what you can do. It's a question of going out there, putting yourself on the line, I guess. I don't know how comfortably you are putting this stuff out there, but at the end of the day, if you don't go out and market your business, if you're not out there to use internet marketing word, if you're not out there hustling, then you're not going to get people coming to find you. If you're spending all your time, and I see this time and time again in business, so many people behind the scenes messing around, faffing about, etc., trying to tweak this and change that and get this right. I just want to make that look right. Oh, my logo's not quite right. What should I do? Oh, should it be gold? Should it be silver? Etc., etc. It doesn't really matter. Get it up, get it done, and get it out there. You need to be out there putting content out there. It doesn't always have to be, it can be articles, it can be videos, it can be audios, it can be just little sound bites, just little quotes, bits and pieces like that, really just to continue that social activity to get people to start to come to your site to have a look at you. All right. So that then, you have the people coming to you. That's your first stage. And obviously you've got to then give people the opportunity to be able to join your emailing list. The money's in the list. It's an old cliche, but you've got to be building a list. There's no point having all of this stuff going on if you're not going to give people the opportunity to actually come in and learn more about you and more about what you do. Give them some sort of free gift, etc. And top 10 ways to save your marriage, something like that, or the top 10 signs that your marriage is in trouble, those kind of things. And then behind it, make them an offer of some description. Now, it could be you don't want to go and create a load of products. You literally do just want to work with people one-to-one. So why not offer them the opportunity to get on a call, to have a chat with you and see if you can help them and counsel the couple, sort of via Skype calls or via Zoom meeting rooms, which is what I do a lot of my interviews via. So, you can get sort of people there. You can run a group. If people are happy to, to be in a group, run a group session, and you can do it via these Zoom meetings. So, there'll be yourself and then sort of other people dotted around the picture, etc. So, it's in the same way that people go to Alcoholics Anonymous, something like that, and they will sit in a room and they will share their problems and their issues, and they'll support each other. There could well be the possibility of doing the exact same thing within this niche. And again, anybody who's doing any sort of counseling or any helping in that way, why not have people in a group? Or if you're talking business, that I guess would be a mastermind. It wouldn't just be a support group; it would actually be a mastermind. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And if you didn't, if you had that coaching going on, if you had that and you were doing the one-to-one, or you were doing a group session, also as well, as time goes by, again, because we're looking here long term, then you want to start creating products. Now, obviously, creating products take a little bit longer. The opportunity to work with you, one-to-one is there instantly. They join your list, you make them the offer. Some people will and some people won't, but it's there. It's it's the low-hanging fruit, as we say. If you've really connected with somebody, if they really you resonate with them, should we say? That's probably the best word. What you're saying really resonates with them, and they really like the way you are and the way you conduct yourself. You want to be giving those people the opportunity to work with you one-to-one. And that's the very sort of immediate initial thing. And then as things grow, as I say, you can do groups, you can create products. So, you can create a video series or an audio series about relationships. As I say again, about, perhaps how to come back from your partner having extramarital relations. You can talk perhaps about kids as well. If you've got children, if you find that that's part of it as well. That sometimes friction within the house can come from a father and a son. The lion thing, etc. So how do you overcome that? I know mothers and daughters sometimes as well growing up. There can be some butting of heads there as well. So there's so many different options that you can have there in terms of those products that you can offer solutions to people. And obviously, they can get them digitally, they're lower priced, and then within them as well, you give them the opportunity to come and work with you further as well. So there's a huge amount of opportunity there for you, Judi. And if you're watching this at thesolopreneurshow.com, then up the top there's a button there that says Work with Anthony one-to-one. Have a look at that, check that out. If you want my help further, then we can work together. It's not a problem at all. But those spaces are actually limited. So that is the way that I would go with it. The first thing you've got to be doing is get yourself out there, start building the know, like, and trust, and start building yourself an audience. All right, so best of luck with that, Judi. I really hope that works out for you. I'm sure it will. You just take consistent action and it will happen. And what you're doing clearly is a really great thing. You're gonna bring a lot of sort of help and love to people. Hopefully, you're going to bring a resolution to their issues. So it's really great what you're looking to do, and I wish you the best of luck on that. Okay, so that concludes this week's Ask Anthony. Obviously, I've answered that question there for Judi, and she is in the the relationship niche, or she wants to go into the relationship niche. But what I've shared with you there, it could be for any kind of niche you want. It's just generally, if you have something, if you have a skill set, if you have a passion, and you want to make a profit from those passions, and you want to help people, or however it is that you perceive it, what I've shared with you there is a really great way to get started. Really great way. You just build yourself a blog, you start blogging, you put content onto it. If you start a podcast, they're not difficult to do. Hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And one of the reasons why I've done this podcast, there's lots of different reasons, but one of them was so I could do it and do it myself. This is the Solopreneur Show. I am a solopreneur. I've got a couple of outsourcers and people who do things for me, etc. But essentially, I do pretty much most of the stuff myself, and that then allows me to share information and to help other guys and girls out there who want to do this kind of thing. So, if you're thinking of starting a podcast, that's something that I can help you do as well. It's not a problem in the slightest. All right. So, if you are listening to this anywhere other than the Solopreneur Show, you need to make sure you get yourself to the solopreneurshow.com, where you can download this audio, and you can also then as well join our free Facebook group as it is at the moment. But coming very soon, there's some really exciting stuff with the VIP club, and I'll be revealing more about that in later episodes, and there'll be links here, etc. in the future. But for now, have a great Monday. Anything you need, any comments, and if you're inside the group, please, just comment, and any questions you got, please let me know. And if you're not in the group, then you need to get yourself inside there. Go to the solopreneurshow.com/AskAnthony3. That's the number 3. And you can then enter your details, join our free Facebook group, and get all of the uncut interviews. And today is Monday, the 23rd of January. Tomorrow is quite possibly the biggest day in the history of the show, because I'm interviewing 2 people in one day, And one gentleman, he's forgotten, I think, more about memberships than I will ever know, and he will be on a future episode. And I will be interviewing in the afternoon. I'm not going to give the name away, but let's just say he is, in his niche, is the #1 best-selling author of all time. This one particular book is the #1 of all time, and I'm so excited to have him on the show. And I'm going to leave you with that to wonder who that is, and I'll be revealing it later in the week. All right, so I will see you soon, and you take care. Cheers. Bye now.
To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today.